Hello viewers, welcome back to the Moose Mobile Auto Repair channel, and today we have a 2014 Chevrolet Sonic with the 1.8 liter engine, and today the customer has requested that they wanted to replace a couple of I believe engine and transmission mounts, so we are going to be replacing them today. Now these particular engine mounts are the GM genuine mounts, so the customer just told me they wanted to replace them, so we are going to be replacing them. They stated that the engine is a little shaky and there's a little bit of a vibration inside the vehicle, and so they just wanted to replace these. So we are underneath the vehicle at the moment on the transmission side. I just used a bottle jack to support the transmission a tiny bit, so we're able to get that mount. You probably may not even need to support the transmission for that mount, but we will see. So I just have it supported a tiny bit, and we are going to loosen up the two bolts. They are an 18 millimeter each. It's only two bolts, so I don't think that this one should be too bad. So there's two bolts here, one over here and one over here on the side. So we're going to loosen up the bolts. It's an 18. This one I'm not able to fit the impact, so we can use a ratchet to loosen it up. This engine mount or transmission mount in this case is not one of the main mounts, so this is just like a support brace, a kind of, to help to reduce vibrations. So it's only two bolts. It's a relatively easy job. We'll see if this comes out. This one comes out pretty easy. Just make sure to note the orientation of the two mounts, and just install in the same orientation as the brand new one. These are GM genuine mounts, so make sure to use the OEM mounts, aftermarket mounts. Typically they have problems, so it's best to use the factory original mounts if you're able to. So now we're just going to install this back. You can put some grease or anti-seize if you want, and just install them. We have to line this up in between the holes. So I like to add some grease onto the bolts and then line them up. I'll see on what the torque spec is, but I'm just going to tighten this up, and then should be good. Don't tighten up anything yet until you have both bolts in. I just need to line this one up now. So this, you can see the transmission, it moves quite a bit, so I can push back to line up the bolts if I want. You can see the transmission, it rocks back and forth. So you just need to try to see if you can push up to line up the bolt, push up or down, depending on where the mounting hole is. Sometimes you may need to raise the bottle jack a little bit to line up the bolts to get it to thread in. So once you're sure that everything is lined up, you can start tightening everything up. I'll post the torque specs if I'm able to find the torque specs and post it on the screen if you want to. Torque it down. My torque spec is the German method, the Guten tight, Guten Pupen. Make sure it's tight and then you're good. You don't want to over tighten it. That should be it. Once you're done, you can lower the jack or the bottle jack down and then you're all good to go. Now, if you want, I can leave this bottle jack here because we still have to do the top mount, which is one of the main mounts for the transmission. But I think I may use a larger jack instead of this. This one's for small things because I don't trust it because it may tilt over. So it's probably best to use a larger jack instead of a bottle jack, just in case. I use this one for like very small jobs. So now I'm just going to lower this down, get this out of the way for now. You can see the transmission, it dipped down a bit. And that's it for that mount. We are going to do the top mount now. So we are going to be doing the top transmission mount on this side. So in order to do that, we have to remove the battery and the computer and stuff out of the way. So we have to get started now. So we are going to remove all of that. Get this out of the way. I believe this vehicle has a block heater. Get that out of the way. And then the battery is out of the way now. We probably have to remove these bolts, 3 bolts. Probably place a zip tie or something in here afterwards. I'll figure something out for that. So now I just need to get this out. So I don't want to cause myself any more work than I need to do. So I tilted this out of the way. You can use a bungee cord and support it if you want, just to get that out of the way. And we have access to the mounting bolts. So it's the same thing as this. One here, one here, one here. So there's 3 on this side and 3 on this side. So there are a total of 6 bolts. So it's a 15 mil for each one. There's one hiding in the back here. So one thing that I noticed is that the 15 millimeter bolt in the back here is very hard to get to because the ABS pump modulator is in the way. So if you need to, you may need to undo the mounting bolts in the corner here just to get this to move a tiny bit. But I'll see if I'm able to reach in there without taking any additional things apart. So at this moment I was able to put a 15 millimeter shallow socket with a 3/8 extension. So we'll see if I'll be able to loosen this up. Not on extremely tight, so this one we probably have to do by hand, and the rest we can just use an impact. So before you loosen anything up for the transmission mount, make sure it's safely supported first before you proceed. I supported the vehicle the same exact way as I had it earlier with the bottle jack, except that I'm using a regular jack now. So now we're just going to take that bolt that I loosened in the corner, and that's probably the bolt I'm going to start with first before I tighten anything else down. I'm just taking this out by hand. It's an extremely windy day today. So you can use an impact or an electric ratchet or whatever you want to use to loosen the bolts up. So just make sure you separate these 3 bolts from the other 3 bolts because they are not the same. See the transmission dropped a little bit, so again you want to be careful. And now we're going to proceed with the other ones here. And the top nut. I'll need to use a deep socket for the 15 on that one. And you should be able to get the mount out easily. It just comes right out. So just compare the old one and the new one, and you're ready to install it. So we're going to install the new one. There's a little bit of dirt here. We need to get the dirt out of the way. Dead fly, leaves and bugs and stuff. So you may need to raise the transmission a little bit to line up the holes. And if you want, you can put some anti-seize or grease. It doesn't matter. It's up to you. I always like to use a little bit of grease or anti-seize on whichever works for you. I'll post the torque specs on the screen if you want to torque it. But I'm just going to tighten these guys down snug and you should be good. They don't need to be on all that tight. Now we are going to line up the bolts now for the transmission. The 3 on that side are the same. So again, the short bolts, make sure you keep them here. The long bolts over here. Don't mix them up. In some cases, you may need to raise the transmission up to line up the mounting holes so you can get it in. just adjusting the jack accordingly, either to lift up or to lower slightly. You can also move and shake the transmission a little bit to get the bolts in. So I'm just going to tighten these down now. So those are in. Later, if you need to, you may need to loosen them up slightly just to adjust it, and then tighten them back down if you need to. Now I'm just going to tighten the back one up. I'm just going to loosen these three up a little bit because the one bolt here is a little bit too much on the outside. So we'll see if I can adjust it a tiny bit. You can see it's shifting over a little bit. So I just wanted to get it to be centered up a little bit, and then I'll tighten it up after that. I don't think it's a big deal, but it's best if you're able to center these guys. This one, you're able to move it quite a bit. And then after when you relieve the jack, you can retighten the bolts up after that, and then you should be okay. Now it's tightened down, so I'm just going to lower the jack now, and then so that it can settle, so that it's not being supported by anything. Then you can tighten everything up before you put everything back. So I'm just going to lower the jack now a little bit, all the way actually, so this can settle down. So it's no longer in the loaded position or in the supported position, and that way you can tighten the bolts now, because all of the bolts are in. Typically you're supposed to just to hand tighten all of the bolts and nuts, and then you remove the jack off of the transmission, and then you can tighten and torque them down. So I'm just going to give these guys a little bit of some oomph, tighten them down. You can torque them if you want. I'm not going to. I'm just going to tighten them down snug, and that should be good. They are aluminum. This is aluminum, so you want to be careful. You don't want to over tighten these. This side of the transmission mount is aluminum, so I was saying you don't want to over tighten these bolts, so just be careful when you are doing this. And the back one. So for your information, I was just using the Milwaukee, it's like a mini impact to get into tight areas. So I was using this to loosen and to tighten up. They call it the 3/8 inch friction ring right angle impact wrench. And that's the part number over here, 2564-20. And it's a brushless motor inside. Earlier off camera, I tightened the bungee cord around here to keep this in place. Just tighten it up down on where the AC line is, or somewhere in which you can just to keep it held in place. So now we just need to put everything back. Everything is going to be the reverse of removal on this, so just going to put everything back now. Now I'm just going to put everything back, put all the mounting bolts in. You need to line up the holes for the 3 bolts. So now we need to reinstall these nuts for the computer. There are 4 nuts in total. Install these nuts 4 nuts in total. It's a relatively straightforward job. It's no biggie. And once you tie in all 4 nuts, there's a clip behind here. You just need to clip it in. One on top here and one at the bottom. There's 3 of these clips. It's like a holder clip at the same time. So there's a clip for the block heater. I think I'm going to replace it with a new one. I think I have some in stock. I'll check. So that's that for that. And now I think I just need to put the battery back, and we should be all good to go after that. So you can see that these mounts are not really badly worn at all, so still quite a bit of life to it. This vehicle only has 112,000 kilometers on it, so it's not too much wear on these mounts. So my other camera died on me, so I'm using a different camera now. So you can see that the rubber has separated a tiny bit. I don't know if you guys will be able to see that the rubber has separated here a little bit, but not exactly too much. There's just the opening here, which is normal. That's the way the construction of the mount is. So I probably won't be able to show much of this. The only thing I can see is just the separation over here on the mount. Other than that, there isn't anything broken or anything. It's just a piece of rubber. So we'll see on what happens, and I will get back to the customer and see if there's any improvement, and just go from there. So these 2 transmission mounts, they're not too badly worn out, but they were a little bit cracked a bit, but it's not anything like major. The customer was complaining that there's a little bit of more vibration than usual while driving the vehicle, so I'm not too sure. They just told me to replace these 2, and that's it. So that's going to be it for replacing the 2 engine/transmission mounts on this 2014 Chevrolet Sonic. That's it for today. If you enjoyed this video and found it helpful, please don't forget to give it a like, and please consider subscribing to my channel if you're not already a subscriber, and please don't forget to hit that bell notification if you haven't done so. I'll see you guys in the next one. Have a good day and take care.